We continue our working day in the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center, and I invite to the microphone Colonel Andriy Lysenko, official spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Please listen to the information about latest events in the anti-terrorist operation area, about military exercises of Ukrainian servicemen, etc. So, Lugansk sector, during the last 24 hours, combat activities were held in the Stolnitsyn-Luhansk, Novoydar, and Popasnyansky districts. At night, the militants shall carried out armed provocations in Malinovo and Krymsk. From the very morning, they shelled our positions in Popasnyansky district and Stanitsa Luhanska from small arms between 2 and 8 p.m. Near Krymsk, there were several armed provocations from grenade launchers and armored vehicles. Also, they opened fire from mortars. A very short-term artillery shelling was near Troitsk. In general, near Luhansk, there were 18 shellings. The next sector, yesterday, the most active fire were opened by militants at the front line between Kamenka, Avdiivka, and Butovka mine. The Russian occupational troops carried out 3 mortar shellings. During one of them, 40 shells were launched over Ukrainian positions. Also, short mortar shellings were near Luhansk, Zaitsevo, Verkhnyotoretsk, and Pisk. Besides that, today, on May 30th, around 5 a.m., the militants targeted an agriculture enterprise near Lugansk. The fire started, but it was successfully extinguished. In general, during the last 24 hours, in the Donetsk sector, there were 14 enemy shellings, and out of them 8 with heavy weaponry. Mariupol sector, as earlier, the combat activities continues in Mariinsky and Volnovasky districts, and between Pavlopil and Shirokino. Yesterday, the militants opened fire from artillery of 122-152 millimeters over Krasnogorivka positions. Then at the evening, they had a mortar and artillery shelling of Novotroitsk launched 25 shells over Ukrainian positions. One fire provocation was near Pavlopil from mortar, and one near Shirokino. Near Mariupol, there were 18 shellings, and 4 of them from heavy weaponry. During the last 24 hours, there are no casualties among Ukrainian servicemen, but 3 servicemen were wounded and injured. Yesterday in Avdiivka, the policeman had detained a taxi driver who transported passenger but had a grenade bomb in his car. The trainees of the military training center and reserve soldiers in Lviv Oblast carried out local military training. They trained fire from howitzers and some other types of artillery. In Chornomorsk, near Odessa, the trainees of the local Marine Military Academy trained the combat activities and activities of marine paratroopers from helicopters Mi-8 and studied the equipment. This will allow our officers to range rescue operations in future, to work in difficult met conditions, and to carry out necessary service and carry out combat activities. Thank you. Whether there are any questions? No questions. Thank you very much for your information. Or maybe you will have questions. No questions. Thank you. See you later.